Right. Hello, everyone. This is Krystian from Netguru. I'm the AI consulting lead, and we have a very special guest, Mittal from Locofy. Hello, Hani. Good to have you here.
Hi, Christian. Nice to be here.
So, on this session, with next 20 minutes, we will explore Locofy solution and design to code kind of Gen AI driven efficiency in this area. So maybe you can tell us a few words about yourself before we will, dive into the actual solution.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Christian. Nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And hi, everyone. I'm Hani. I'm based in Singapore, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Locofy.ai. Locofy is essentially a developer and designer acceleration tool that helps you, especially with front-end development and app development, by converting your designs into front-end code. And the idea is to get you to build your apps and products and innovate faster, and also to empower designers and engineers to let AI do the grunt work and for them to do the more high value work. Before Locofy, my background is in product management, so I was the chief product officer in three of Southeast Asia's very well known startups. One of them is a unicorn. The other one is reaching that stage, but they were in travel, healthcare, and fintech. And after like about a decade of building that with my now co-founder, we decided to work on a global problem rather than just a Southeast Asia and Asian problem, and also to work on our own problems. And one of the biggest problems we faced was, we worked in startups and we were finding it difficult to hire, attract, and afford good engineers, even despite raising a fair bit of money, because there's always a better offer out there. And the supply of engineers in the world was just so limited that we decided, why not combine our passion of building amazing interfaces, irrespective of the platform, and marrying that with the need that hundreds and millions of companies actually out there face. Not everyone can afford a 10x engineer or attract a 10x engineer. Why don't we give that power to every builder, every company, and even future builders and students? So that's why we started Locofy about 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, that's the solution is really amazing. Like we've also made a lot of tests, and it works like very nice. So you mentioned you're also like product guy. So and you've started saying about it like the main thing about what I was wondering, like what is the main problem you wanted to solve, and who is your kind of user persona using this solution? What was like the main reason actually you want to solve with this design
Yeah,
to code
actually,
challenge?
the no, that's a great, and my answer changes every year, because when you get into solving a problem, you start with a certain understanding, but you also have to be smart enough to like evolve and adapt, and also be aware when the market is giving you certain insights. When we started, it was a simple question to my co-founder. So my background is in product management. I used to do coding, but I was also a designer, and I also was interested in the business side. And I'd spend enough time away from coding, but I can still talk to an engineer at length. My co-founder, on the other hand, was a gaming engineer turned Android engineer. The first Android app he wrote was in 28 days, and it became Asia's first editor's choice app on Google Play. Then he moved to front end because I asked him to move to web front end, and he, together with me, built the world's first progressive web app for travel, and that became the world's fastest. Even like Google top execs, Sundar Pichai, they would like show off that product at Google I/O. Then we moved to iOS, and this guy just kept picking up any framework, anything I threw at him: React, Polymer, Java, Kotlin, Swift, React Native, Flutter. He would just learn it as if he's been doing it for 10 plus years. And when we started thinking about solving our own problems, my my question to him was, why should I think about the idea? You're the best engineer I know,
Yeah.
possibly one of the best engineers in the world. If you're the best at everything, anything, you're always thinking of better ways of doing what makes you good, right? You're always thinking of, how do I make it cheap, fast, efficient? And the first thing that came out of his mouth was, I hate writing front end code. He's amazing at it, by the way, but I hate writing the UI code from scratch. I've always worked in a small team. I spend 60% of my time making everything pixel perfect, because I'm his I was the product guy who was always like, I'm very particular about every pixel, the performance. There should be no white screen. There should be no delays. It should be cheap and fast, and it should work on mobile phones in Africa as much as it should work on a desktop in the US. So his point was basically, I think, the, when a designer is doing the design, why should an engineer have to redo that work through code just to
Yeah.
bring that design back to life? And of course, front end is not just UI, but UI development is a big part of it. And the moment he said, I can automate it, it didn't take me too long to be like, hey, that's a huge problem if we can solve it.
Hmm.
And when we called up some of the best people we know, founders, product managers, engineers, designers, and backend engineers, like all kinds, the weird thing was within the first 48 hours, everyone we talked to either said we will buy this when it's ready, or they invested in us, or they joined us.
Yeah.
So we knew
Amazing.
we were onto, yeah, and we knew we were onto something because, and within 48 hours, by the way, we started the company and we raised $1 million, and it's been the same ever since. We knew we are solving a real problem. It's just when we started, we thought we are solving this problem for front end engineers and for
Hmm.
mobile app engineers. What we didn't realize back then was that stakeholders like product managers, designers, back end engineers, and full stack engineers, and of course, app engineers also valued this a lot more. If anything, we realized, so you obviously know this, Krystian, but Locofy was in free beta for almost 3.5 years. And the reason for doing that was because we said, until and unless the best engineers out there start saying, this is amazing, this fits in into our workflow, I'm using it on a regular basis, I'm building my products now fast, and it's saving me time, and the code quality is great. Until then, we will keep it free, and we will just listen to engineers and keep our heads down and build. And I think that's where we started realizing that while front-end engineers, and rightly so, had highest expectations because it's what they do, it's what makes them great. We started realizing that designers were also very invested into using Locofy because they could control, or they could rather make sure that the end product was actually exactly what they designed. Because I'm sure you've seen this as well.
Yeah.
Designers design something, engineers build something, and then they get together and the designer's like, hey, this is not what I designed.
Yeah.
It doesn't match.
Those
And the engineers are like,
workarounds, shortcuts stuff. Yeah.
correct, correct, correct.
Yeah.
Because they're two different people, right? Front end
Yeah.
engineers are very like logical, and they are very front end focused, but designers care about every little pixel. So we realized, first of all, designers are not just stakeholders. Designers actually want to be part of this because
Hmm.
they've been not just to help the engineers, but also to own the user experience because they care about what lands up in the user's hands. And then second thing we realized was backend engineers and full stack engineers loved Locofy even more than front end engineers. Like now, front end engineers
Yeah.
have started giving us positive feedback, and a lot of them are paying for it. But backend engineers and full stack engineers were like, "Hey, this is great because Locofy writes the code. It's not perfect. No AI will be perfect, but it's 80 to 90% there. I can take it and I can do the rest of the work, and I focus on the backend complex problems, the business logic, the backend to the
Hmm.
front end, accessibility, all those things." So that was one of the things we realized, that even though we started building for front end engineers, this actually is showing us already signs that the lines between design, UI development, the lines between front end and full stack, I think AI is just kind of evolving in a way that it's no role will be exactly the way it was 10 years ago. And I'm
Hmm.
not saying that roles will go away. I'm just saying that earlier it was very clearly defined. A designer does this, a front end engineer does this, a back end engineer does this. And I think
Yeah.
what tools like Locofy have done, maybe even unintentionally so, in the last couple of years, is give everyone who's involved in building front end the
Yeah.
power to take their work to the next level, and
Yeah.
to have an upper hand, kind of like what Figma did, right? With product managers getting involved with designers, we
Yeah.
are seeing designers and front end engineers and full stack engineers coming closer with the likes of Locofy.
Yeah, amazing. So, like, since we have this is like disruption forum, design horizon event. So there are many people involved in the design phase. So if someone didn't already see the solution, and like the real world applications, if you could like tell a few words what actually Locofy is, how you can use it, on your day-to-day business. So like to give the people overview on the platform.
Yeah, it's super simple actually. We are a Figma plugin.
Hmm.
Every designer, UX person would know Figma very well. But we
Yeah.
also exist on Adobe XD, but Figma is clearly the I think the overwhelmingly prevalent design tool. So we are a plugin within Figma. Once you are done designing on Figma, you open up our plugin just like any other toolbox. You select your design and you let Locofy do the work. It's literally as simple as one click. And if you have designed if your designs are structured properly, which means you group your layers properly, you use auto layouts, all the best practices that Figma recommends, then we will read your Figma design, we will make it go through our AI models, and we will generate the front end code within 15 to 20 seconds. When I say front end code again, it is mostly UI, static code, but we are adding more and more scripting, the option to add your libraries in your existing custom components. But within a few seconds, you get the initial front end code, which is roughly 80% there. And we give you the tools to review our AI decisions. We also give you the tools to edit them, because the idea is if you spot something that's not up to your mark, we give you the tools to make those changes immediately. And when you're ready, we're not an IDE, but we give you the front end code. You can either just export the code, copy paste the code, take just certain components code itself, and take it into your IDE. You can either pull it into VS Code using our VS Code extension, or if you're iterating on an existing product, then you can push it into GitHub, and we provide three-way code editor and code merge. So we have enough videos on our website. If you go to Locofy.ai, there's a quick video which shows you how it works. But of course, the caveat over there is, like every AI looks like magic. We claim we are not like magic. Your designs have to be structured well, and the result you get from Locofy, it's 80% there, and it will let you build that UI in half a day maybe by fixing certain things, rather than doing it in 5 days from scratch. And we support all the public libraries. We also support your own design systems, and we're adding more and more functionality as we speak.
Yeah, it's really amazing. So if any of you haven't seen the website, there are like very interesting videos. I'm also wondering around the real world application. I saw that you mentioned that there are already 500,000 developers and designers, 3,000 companies. It's like amazing product market fit and some super cool brands. So I was wondering if you already know some, real world applications, considering also that with nowadays AI, you may have this amazing efficiency kind of impact, right? You also mentioning on your website that is like 10 times faster. So I was wondering if you already, what are the real world applications, if you can share, like companies using it, how they are using it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the idea behind it?
Yeah, so when we ran the product for free for 3.5 years, we obviously launched on Product Hunt, on Reddit, on Twitter, through word of mouth, obviously. 500,000 developers gave us feedback. And very recently, actually, just in September, we launched our paid plans. And we've already crossed 3,000 plus customers. Basically, they're either part of pay-as-you-go, because when it comes to AI, usage-based and consumption-based is coming back in fashion rather than seat-based. We have annual plans, and we also do enterprise deals. Some of these companies, as an example, would be Toyota, NTT Data. We have Infosys. We have students from pretty much any university in the world. We have 150,000 students basically who tried Locofy for free and continue to do so. Even now that we have paid plans, they are building products with Locofy for free, because that's one thing we're committed to. In terms of real life examples, we have actually published about 30 plus case studies on our website. They include examples like agencies, include examples like startups, including examples from early stage accelerators building an app 60% faster, 80% faster, or adding iterations to their existing products 80% faster. The caveat we have is that because we are only helping you generate the front end code, and then the code is yours, you keep coming back every time you build a new feature, but how much and which part of the code you actually use in your production app is not visible to us. For example, we're not a Webflow. If you launch a website on Webflow, they know it's in production, and they know these are the examples that were built with Webflow. For us, because we don't provide the deployment, we only rely on what our customers tell us.
Yeah.
So the examples we've published on our website, the case studies we have, are only the customers who have come out and told us this is the product that I built with Locofy actually. But now that we're doing enterprise deals, for example, Infosys is one of the world's largest, I would say, innovation consultancies, agencies, as whatever you might want to call it. I think they have 500,000 engineers building for pretty much every company in the world. They initially came to us trying to use Locofy to build their internal products, and now one by one, all their customer teams are coming in saying, "Hey, there's an insurance company." I unfortunately cannot name their customers' names, but there's a huge insurance company in India. There's a huge private equity fund in the US. There's a GCC, like a Gulf countries. Government that's doing a complete revamp of their website itself. These are products being built with Locofy, and I think as and when we start renewing contracts, we're still in the early days. We will start publishing a lot more of these examples with the consent of our customers. So the examples we have right now are primarily from the early free beta days, and that is on our website. I can send you the link if that helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially there are tons of startups from every part of the world, 195 countries. Usually it's either early stage companies, agencies, big tech companies, and the pretty much every company that's trying to be a tech company today that cannot attract the best engineers. As an example, right? Like this is not a fact, but let's say a Hyundai will attract the best automobile engineers and the best mechanical engineers, electronics
Yeah.
engineers. It may or may not necessarily attract the best web engineers and mobile app engineers. Yet, a company like Hyundai would spend a lot of money on building digital products.
Yeah.
That's where Locofy is like an immediate fit straight away. Uh, in the companies that have the best engineers, it's mostly used for design systems because they are late stage companies. In early stage companies, it's used for building apps from scratch. Freelancers and agencies are obviously using it to build like multitude of projects, and we provide unlimited seats to our enterprise customers, which is why they love building for their clients. And it also makes them competitive within their own competition as well, because now their own customers are becoming savvy and saying, "Hey, I want to build my product faster."
Yeah, amazing. Sounds super practical, and also we've already like noticed from day one how it can streamline the entire process. So it gets me to the next question. You mentioned a lot about product management. I'm also a product person, and like I was wondering, what's the like next step for you? We have currently this AI hype, the big wave, everyone asking some questions, and basically, so how far it can go? What's the next big thing? What's the future for you? Like, what will be the role of design, development team, product manager? How do you fit in all this circle? Keeping in mind that people are saying, hey, maybe it's let's say the end of the role of the product manager as we know it, let's say, right? So I was wondering what's there for you? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think with every new technology revolution, there will be a lot of claims. There'll be a lot of hype. I think with AI, unlike some of the previous hypes that I mean, I'm an investor in startups as well, and I try to stay away from some of these hypes. When it comes to AI, there is absolutely no doubt that it will bring productivity gains across the board, whether it's product management, design, engineering, finance, every role.
Yeah.
To say it will get rid of roles is, I think, a claim made by people who are actually not solving these problems. Right? Like in the early days of AI, there were so many of these influencers just saying, "Hey, software engineers will not have a job in 3 years." That's absolutely like it's not very well thought of.
Yeah.
AI has to be seen as an assistant, quite frankly. AI, like we've seen LLMs, we try LLMs as well. We are building our own design models. Hand on heart, it does the job, but it will never replace a person. And I think that's where, when it comes to product management, I actually initially in the early days, I also felt, you know what, like I can do my research, I can write a PRD using AI. Yes, but AI is not doing the thinking for you.
Yeah.
You have to, like, I think the best product managers are not the ones who are just writing specs. They are the ones who are solving problems, identifying the right problems, identifying the right solutions, and getting it built with humans. That's what real product management is. If someone was a product manager who's just writing PRDs or just like doing some research, yes, they should be worried. If an AI can do that job fast, or 70-80% of the job, then maybe someone who's much younger, who is deep into these AI tools, can give you stiff competition. But a product manager, in my opinion, there was never a need of real good product managers as much as there is today, because if every product manager has access to the same tools, then the real product management value comes down to identifying problems and coming up with the right solutions, while everyone has access to the same research.
Yeah.
So I really think it has to be more of problem solving than breaking the work of a product manager that can easily be done by AI. I would say, why not use the tools that can really help you, that can help you with the decision process, but you still have to make the decision, and the quality of your decision and the quality of your solution is what will keep you apart. Same comes to designers, right? Like, there are tools that help you go from explaining something to designs, but if every designer can write the same prompt and get the same design, then pretty much all designs will look the same. So designers will not go out of fashion. Designers will essentially be building something unique, and they will have a unique take on solving a problem. And so is the case with engineers. Locofy gives you the code, but if you don't know how to do front-end code, then you won't know what is wrong with it. And if you won't know what is wrong with it, there's no way you can use that tool. So I think we should all embrace AI. We should like cut out the fluff and the hype about it, and really see how it can impact our jobs and make us better, rather than like be on the fence and not use it because we're in denial of some kind. I don't think it will take away jobs like crazy. Like, I don't think anyone working in the tech industry would be out of a job, but yes, it will help them evolve, and they should be looking at evolving with AI.
Which is, thank you very much for that. We are, almost at the end of our session. So for me, to wrap it up, at the end of the day, this is like finally focusing on the right thing, rather trying to solve your customer or client problem than writing a documentation that could be easily kind of robotized, right? So yeah, very interesting. Thank you very much, and big congrats for the platform, because it's really amazing and very practical. As you mentioned, there are many people having the same problems, and give you the ability to, first of all, scale the solution very fast, build the solution, and test it with your customers as soon as possible. And then still you need to have some people that will deploy it, work on it, change it. So yeah, still some front-end development will be needed. Thank you very much, Hani. It was very interesting. Thanks a lot for being here. For everyone now listening, please make sure you will comment and check the Locofy solution, because it's really, really amazing, and we will be more than happy also to answer some of your questions. So thanks a lot, Hani, and yeah, have a good day. Thanks.
Thanks for having me, and you have a good day as well. Take care.
Thank you. All right.